Welcome back, everyone. If you were here last month, you know we officially kicked off with the first episode of Dare You to Death. From the second we pressed play, the show absolutely delivered. We're talking stunning cinematic visuals and a hauntingly brilliant score that just drips with underlying dread. But it's the plot that has my head spinning. To recap, exactly why. First, we got that brand new officer at the station who is already making everyone incredibly uncomfortable. And then there's the deeply suspicious amount of favoritism surrounding the police force's kids. It seriously has me wondering, just how deep does this corruption actually go? I am officially strapped in for the twists, turns, and inevitable surprises waiting for us today. Will my theories from last month actually hold up, or is this show about to completely derail my expectations? Let's find out. Press that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and let's jump straight into today's reaction. Howdy everyone, we are diving straight back into Dare You to Death, and episode 2 is already turning the heat all the way up. First off, let's talk about the art design. I briefly guessed it was just a creepy card, but now we know it's an envelope, and the vibe is giving pure Death Note energy. We only catch a quick glimpse of what's inside, but it's a group photo of our main friend squad. That terrifying part. Every single face has been aggressively scratched out with red pen and marked with giant X's. To make matters even more suspicious, the opening scene shows our teen lead detectives holding an envelope with their names on it too. It's making me wonder if we're playing in nerve territory here. A global, disastrous game of extreme truth or dare, where the stakes are literal life and death. But let's be real, even if they didn't physically pull the trigger, I still strongly suspect the entire friend group is indirectly responsible for Poothie's death. They're hiding something big. Meanwhile, on the police front, things are getting very spicy. Jet's line, "My mouth works pretty well." Excuse me? The tension, the intense eye contact, I swear I'm sitting here holding my breath, expecting them to kiss at any second. Captain Jet is incredibly smug and ridiculously good looking, even if he is a tiny bit annoying. Honestly, though, using local climate statistics as an excuse to slide closer to Kamen, that is great flirting move. And can we talk about the forensic doctor? He is HOT hot. This show has an embarrassment of riches when it comes to shippable characters. But back to the grim reality. Poothie's autopsy report is in, and it wasn't just an accidental overdose. It was a premeditated, cold-blooded murder. The killer used a specific chemical cocktail to trigger heart failure, administered via a needle injection in her arm. She didn't stand a chance. Now here's a weird detail. The forensic investigator who ran the toxicology test also happens to be the one answering the emergency ambulance line at the station. Maybe the local precinct is just severely understaffed, but coming from an American's perspective, that feels highly unusual and incredibly suspicious. Even wilder, the emergency call was placed by a woman's voice. Which brings us back to Sharon. Last episode we barely knew her, but she's already given me massive red flags. She's caught on a sneaky phone call asking someone, "Did you say anything?" She's totally giving off manipulative, innocent act energy. My working theory. She was secretly dating Poothie's boyfriend, Champ, on the side, and she's pulling some major strings behind the scenes. Champ claims that Tar is just hiding behind a harmless, nerdy persona to act like a total creep and blackmail people. Is Champ telling the truth, or is he just trying to deflect suspicion from himself? Well, Tar's behavior doesn't exactly vindicate him. We cut to him at a club hiring a sex worker and grossly offering extra cash for unprotected sex. But before he can do anything, Karma arrives in a dark cloak. A mysterious figure ambushes Tar with a baseball bat, pins him down, and forces a lethal dose of drugs down his throat to stage it was an overdose. And here's the kicker. The attacker is wearing that creepy flashing LED light-up mask from the opening sequence. The killer gives Tar a choice. Truth or dare. When Tar chooses truth, the truth comes crashing out. He actually essayed Pu-Fi. So Champ wasn't lying. This brings up a massive theory. Is our masked killer a vigilante? Are they actively hunting down predators and criminals that our notoriously corrupt justice system refuses to touch? It's dark, but honestly, it's hard not to root for the killer. Just a little bit here. Meanwhile, back in the workplace, Jet is being highly hands-on with Common. I know they're our primary romantic pairing, but doing this in the middle of a brutal murder investigation is a wild choice. Common notes that Tonkla was spotted waiting right outside the club. Tonkla claims that it's just their usual hangout spot, but the timing is incredibly suspect. Tonkla in the hot seat. Did he just show up at the absolute worst time, or is he actually our masked executioner? Honestly, discovering your entire friend group is corrupt and choosing to become a vigilante is a classic thriller trope. However, given how much physical struggle and blood was involved in Tar's murder, I don't think Tonkla is our guy. He doesn't seem to have the physical presence for it. But let's break up the bleak murder mystery with some absolute comedy. Common is officially reaching his limit with Jet's chaotic antics, especially when Jet pulls a literal pants trick on him. The slow motion eye contact scenes between them are pure gold. They have fantastic chemistry, even if Jet's timing is completely inappropriate. But wait, did Jade seriously just suggest they move in together? They just met. Not only that, but Jet has somehow relocated his own brother Jay to acting as a personal bellboy. Sophisticated and classy while eating instant ramen noodles. This household dynamic is going to be absolute chaos. Jet is serving up breakfast, shirtless, wearing nothing but a towel, but of course he is. And then he actually pulls the towel drop tease. I don't know whether to call him incredibly brave or just completely shameless for doing that to a guy he barely knows. But hey, I'm not complaining. The heart rate is up, the shoulder tattoo is gorgeous, and that trail, absolutely immaculate. 10 out of 10. But we have to get back to the business because the murder gang is gathering to get their stories straight. They are definitely hiding secrets, and they are desperate to stay on the same page. Jet and Common search Tar's room, which is a textbook nerdy setup, but Tar made the classic rookie mistake of leaving his computer completely unlocked. When they open it, they find a massive hidden folder of secret photos he took of Pu-Fi. It's deeply unsettling, and Jet voices exactly what we're all thinking. I side with the killer. This brings us right back to those heavy Death Note undertones. If Jet is our intuitive, role-bending light Yagami, and Kamen is our highly analytical by-the-book L, the ultimate question remains, who is Kira? That scratched up photo I thought was marked with red ink. Yeah, that's definitely real blood. A serial killer is systematically picking off this group one by one. And the final nail in the coffin, Tankla just received his own envelope. Inside are photos of him stealing, paired with a letter checking off his exact sins. Looks like my theory from the last video was both right and wrong. This friend group didn't directly murder Pufai, but they are entirely complicit. They knew horrible things were happening to her, but they chose silence to protect their own selfish interests and leverage over one another. We close out the episode with a shirtless Common who is adorable, but I think Jet's shameless flirting is officially winning me over. Thanks for hanging out with me for another screen study as we dove into episode 2 of Dare You to Death. Now, before we get into it in the comments, let's keep this a safe space. Absolutely no spoilers for future episodes, please. We want everyone to enjoy the mystery as it unfolds. So what are we thinking? Who is actually behind that mask? Drop your wildest, spoiler-free theories in the comments below. I can't wait to read them. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss next month's reaction. See you in the next analysis. Arrgh.